You are Locked On Yankees POSTCAST, part of Locked On Sports New York on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right, the Yankees live to fight another day, and you can thank one gigantic swing that came courtesy of Anthony Volpe. A grand slam put the Yanks ahead. They go on to beat the Dodgers 11-4 in Game 4 of the World Series. New York now trails Los Angeles 3-1 in the World Series. Austin Wells, Gleyber Torres also go yard. Bombers are very much alive. They get another shot to extend the season Wednesday night in Game 5 with their ace, Garrett Cole, on the mound. Again, 11-4, the final score, 3-1, Dodger lead in the series. Hello, everyone. I'm Jay Berman. If you knew my work, you're obviously a New Yorker. Welcome aboard if you're not. Good to have you aboard. I've spent more than 2 decades in the biz, everything from TV to web to radio. You can follow me on X at Jay Berman, Jayberman. Welcome to the Locked On Yankees postcast, both on the Locked On Sports New York YouTube channel and the Locked On Yankees podcast feed. The postcast gives you a place to hang out after every single Yankees game. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. And as we rock and roll here on the postcast, we'll chat everything. Of course, Luis Gil, who got the start for the Bombers, he could not get out of the 5th inning. Not much from the triumvirate of Soto, Judge, and Stanton, but then again, none needed tonight. Obviously, still much of the pressure and criticism on the shoulders of Judge here in October. We'll discuss and throw some numbers at you as well. All that coming up on the postcast. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Download the app today. Use code LOCKEDONMLB to win $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. As we said, 11-4, the final score. Yanks are back in the series. It's now 3-1. 1970. That's the last time a team down 0-3 in the World Series even forced a Game 5. So it's been a while. No team has ever forced a Game 6 down 0-3 in the World Series. So that's what's on the minds of the Yankees Wednesday night. As we told you, Monday night was the 104th all-time World Series game in the Bronx. Obviously, tonight was the 105th. Aaron Judge, we'll get to him in a moment. We have to start with Anthony Volpe, who had a roller coaster night. Obviously, the redemption was the grand slam after the base running mistake early. It was the first Yankees World Series grand slam since 1998, Game 1. If you recall, that was Tino Martinez. The grand slam also gave the Yankees their first lead since Game 1. He would also help manufacture the insurance run of the 8th inning before Gleyber goes yard. So that was actually an important run that made 6-4 Game 7-4. Obviously, the 3-run homer from Gleyber put it out of reach, but still, that was a huge run. So Volpe makes the base running mistake on the double, does not score on the Wells double that could have very easily been a Wells triple. So he gets redemption with the grand slam after the base running mistake, and then he helps manufacture the insurance run of the 8th inning on the double, the stolen base, and then home on the contact play. Gavin Lux through to the first base side of home plate instead of third base, and that allowed Volpe to score the run. And that made it 7-4. Gleyber goes yard. Yanks tack on. That made it 11-4. And as you know, Yanks live to fight another day. What's funny is in the beginning of the game, when the Dodgers obviously once again got off to a quick start with Freddie Freeman doing it again, all the little things the Yankees were doing wrong, not only did the Dodgers not do, but the Dodgers capitalize when their opponents do it wrong. And the Yankees have certainly been doing it, be it the defense, the base running, obviously. But the Yankees, as we said, bounced back. It was a run in the second that made it 2-1. Then the grand slam at the bottom of the third made it 5-2. And that was actually the first lead for the Yankees since the 3-2 lead in the top of the 10th inning in Game 1. Yanks had not led since that. As for Judge and Soto and Stanton, you know where they stand now. Soto on a 24-game on-base streak in the postseason. He has really been splendid. Soto tonight did go 1-for-4, did strike out twice, but was on base twice with the hit and the walk. As for Aaron Judge, goes 1-for-3, didn't strike out, but was on base 3 times, hit by a pitch, a walk. It was actually on base 4 times, pardon me. Hit by a pitch, a walk, reached on an error, and then obviously the single that came in the in the 8th inning when the Yanks plated 5 runs and they turned a 6-4 game into 11-4, and that was it. The Dodgers went quietly in the 9th, and away we go. It's now a 3-1 series. As for Judge, now 2-for-15 with 7 Ks in the World Series. He's also 7-for-46 with 20 Ks during the postseason as a whole. That all adds up to 152, an on base of 305, a slugging of 304. His OPS is 600, which is as bad as it gets, especially for someone of the caliber of Aaron Judge. It kind of felt like Dave Roberts punted on Game 4, to be honest, not taking anything away from anything the Yankees did tonight, but it was a bullpen game. And to give you an example of Dave Roberts not wanting to use any of his high leverage guys, well, Brent Honeywell, the final pitcher, the 4th pitcher of the night for the Dodgers, well, get this. He threw 1 inning. That was the 8th inning. He threw 50 pitches. Talk about taking one for the team and wearing one. An inning, 4 hits, 5 runs, 1 walk, obviously allows the grand slam, didn't strike anybody out. To give you an example of just how amazing 50 pitches in an inning is, Knack, the reliever before Honeywell, threw 56 pitches in 4 innings of work. Dodgers, again, used just 4 pitchers tonight. Kasparius, Hudson, Knack, and Honeywell. As for Aaron Boone, did it again. Mid-inning pitching changes galore. Hill, Holmes, Leiter, Weaver, and Meza, they all combined to shut the Dodgers down. Again, 11-4 was the final score. We'll see what Freddie Freeman has up his sleeve for game number 5. Freeman, a 6th straight World Series game with a home run, which is a record. He had the record tied with George Springer yesterday. He has now set the record. No one has ever hit home runs in 6 consecutive World Series games until Freddie Freeman. Meanwhile, he's also the first player to hit a home run in the first 4 games of a World Series. So I think we know if the Dodgers win the World Series, who the MVP of the World Series will be. It will likely be Freddie Freeman. But again, Yankees not dead yet. They're back in it. The bats finally wake up. They blasted 9 hits, scored 11 runs. Volpe and Wells, what a combination of the youngsters. They each had 2 hits on the night. And they combined to drive in 5 runs, each with a home run. And here's an interesting stat in regard to Volpe and Wells. The first set of Yankee teammates aged 25 or younger to home run in the same to hit a home run in the same World Series game. The last time that happened, 1957, Kubek and Mantle did it. They were both younger than 25. Again, Volpe and Wells, the first set of Yankee teammates aged 25 or younger to home run in the same World Series game. Really remarkable stuff, and really remarkable stuff all around. Really from both sides. And I hate to be old happy-go-lucky guy, but there's a lot of primetime performances on both sides. Tim Hill came in to get an important 2 outs. Clay Holmes got an inning and 1/3, did well. Mark Leiter Jr., he pitched well in his 2/3 of an inning. Luke Weaver, an inning and a 1/3. And what's so big about those 5 runs in the bottom of the 8th is that Weaver did not have to come out for the 9th. He threw just 21 pitches. You can be certain Luke Weaver will be pitching Wednesday night. And pretty much the same goes for everybody else, with the exception, obviously, of Luis Gil, who threw 67 pitches. He allowed all 4 runs to the Dodgers. Hill threw 5 pitches, Holmes threw 13, Leiter threw 18, Weaver threw 21, and Meza threw 15. So it was a high leverage game for obviously Boone and the Yankee bullpen, not so much for Dave Roberts and that Dodger bullpen. Again, as we said, they threw just 4 pitchers at the Yankees. 2 pitchers combined to throw over 100 pitches. Knack threw 56. Honeywell threw 50 in just 1 inning of work. Truly an amazing stat. All right, coming up next, we'll talk about the Judge numbers. We'll also talk about the Freddie Freeman numbers. Both studs have been remarkable for different reasons. We'll do it all coming up next. All right, listen up, NFL fans. Now is your chance to start the season with a big return. Yep, you can do it with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. So here's what you do when you have a hunch in the middle of the game. Go over to FanDuel, check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more. The best part is it's all on the same page where you place your bets. Everything is right there for you. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets, guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. All right, once again, an 11-4 victory for the New York Yankees over the LA Dodgers, and the Yanks live to fight another day. They are now down 3-1 in the series. Yanks become the first team since 1970 who were down 0-3 in the World Series to force a Game 5. Now, no team has ever forced a Game 6 being down 0-3. So the Yanks could be playing with some history on Wednesday. As we said, Garrett Cole and Jack Flaherty, Game 1 starters. They will be your starters in Game number 5. As we said, a roller coaster type evening for Anthony Volpe. As Joe Davis said on the broadcast when his grand slam left the yard, redemption because of the base running blunder prior. He obviously was feeling redemptive, if you will, with the grand slam. Then he would help manufacture the insurance run of the 8th inning, double stolen base, home on contact on the Gavin Lux throw, which pulled off Will Smith from the bag at home plate. And obviously that made it 7-4. Yanks would plate 4 more. Glaber helped with a home run. And again, 11-4 was the final score. As for Luis Hill, we discussed him. 4 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned, 2 walks, 1 K, allowed 2 home runs through just 67 pitches. Yeah, he did allow 4 runs. And this was an all-hands-on-deck type of night for Aaron Boone. However, as we said, Hill threw just 67 pitches, 40 for strikes. Tim Hill, Clay Holmes, Mark Leiter Jr., Luke Weaver, and Tim Meza, well, they rounded out the night quite nicely. As we said, Weaver threw just 21 pitches. I think Boone was prepared to have him go 40 to 50 pitches. He was absolutely coming out for the 9th inning in a 6-4 or 7-4 game. Obviously, the home run put it out of touch, and that was exactly what the doctor ordered. Obviously gets the Yanks the insurance they need, and it allows Boone to go to a reliever besides Luke Weaver to get the final 3 outs. Tim Meza needed just 15 pitches to get those 3 outs in the 9th, did not allow a base runner. And because of it, the 11-4 final was in the books. As we said, Anthony Volpe, 2 hits, scored 3, drove in 4, and obviously had that huge stolen base. He actually had 2 stolen bases, but the key one was in the 8th inning when he manufactured the 7th run of the night, and that proved to be more than enough insurance as Gleyber Torres would go yard as well. As we said for Aaron Judge, well, it's not going to get talked about tonight because the Yankees won, and they didn't really need Judge's bat, and he was on base 4 times. However, just 1 hit. He's now 2 for 15 in the World Series, has struck out 7 times. As for the postseason as a whole, he's 7 for 46 with 20 strikeouts. On the flip side, we've got someone like Freddie Freeman who continues to torture the Yankees, specifically in Yankee Stadium, specifically down the right field line. Yes, he had the grand slam in Game 1, hit back-to-back home runs with Betts in Game 2. However, home runs in Game 3 and 4 really set the tone. They were both first-inning 2-run shots, and you figured in Game 4 tonight, well, what could possibly go wrong? Well, it went wrong right out of the gates. Also, what's interesting, and we haven't really been through it just because he really hasn't had an impact on the game, and maybe that's exactly what the point is. Shohei Ohtani is not 100%, and it is clearly affecting the top of the Dodgers lineup. Ohtani was 1 for 4 tonight, hitting just 246 in the postseason, has just 2 hits in the World Series. Now, obviously, 2 of those games came prior to the injury. However, he has not been great. Betts and Freeman and Teoscar have. And obviously, you get the home run from Will Smith, but he's been struggling as well. But Betts and Freeman have just been tremendous. If Shohei can get going, well, that would be bad news for the Yankees. So we'll hope that that doesn't happen. Clay Holmes gets the win in relief. Daniel Hudson, who was pretty bad, threw just 20 pitches in an inning, 2 hits, 4 runs, a walk, a K, and that home run. All right, we talked about it. It bears repeating. Volpe and Wells, the first set of Yankee teammates, age 25 or younger, to home run in the same World Series game. Kubek and Mantle did it back in 1957. All right, so if Aaron Judge isn't going to hit, and Juan Soto isn't going to hit, and Giancarlo Stanton isn't going to hit, you would have told me there's no way the Yankees are plating 11 runs. Well, a grand slam and a 3-run shot combined for 7 runs for the Yankees with 2 swings, and because of it, the Yankees are back in the series and very much have a chance with their ace on the mound to extend this to a 6th game, which, as we said multiple times on the show, that's never happened. No team down 0-3 in the World Series has ever even forced a game 6, let alone come back to force a game 7 or even win the series. So for the first time since 1970, we'll have a game 5 after an 0-3 hole. Very interesting times. All right, we'll take a break and we will set you up once again for another game. This will be a game 5 with Flaherty and Cole on the mound. All right, you can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in over 30 states, including California, Florida, Georgia, and Texas. Prize Picks is the only real money daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy, so your lineups stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. If your player leaves in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks keeps your lineup live. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. So join over 10 million users. Sign up today. Sign up today. Get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Download the app today. Use code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. That's Prize Picks, run your game. All right, we are back. As we said, the final segment of the show, an 11-4 win for the Yankees tonight, which means we'll have at least one more Locked On Yankees postcast. That's right. The Yankees were facing elimination tonight, but they get the job done, and it wasn't the usual suspects. In fact, it's 2 players, the youngsters at the bottom of the lineup, that were really struggling. Volpe and Wells, as we said, the combination of 25 and younger, the first teammates to hit home runs in the same World Series game in a long, long time. 1957, when Mantle and Kubek did it. But again, the story tonight, the roller coaster night of Anthony Volpe, who, of course, made the base running blunder early, makes up for it with the grand slam mid-game, and then provides quite the boost in the 8th inning with some insurance. And he manufactured a well-earned run, a double, a stolen base, home on a contact play. That gave the Yankees a very important insurance run that made it 7-4. And again, the Yankees would add on with Glaber's 3-run shot. So Yanks live to fight one more day. And as we said, it's all about game number 5, which will be tomorrow night. Dodgers and Yankees, once again, a first pitch shortly after 8 Eastern. It'll be Jack Flaherty and Garrett Cole, a rematch of game 1. If you want to head back to game 1, That's obviously the Freddie Freeman Grand Slam game. But what gets lost in the shuffle there is the fact that those were Flaherty and the Dodger and Cole in game number one. That, of course, was last Friday, a 6-3 win for the Dodgers, culminating with the grand slam in the bottom of the 10th inning. Cole, 6 innings, 1 earned, if you recall, threw just 88 pitches, 67 of them for strikes, and got the old hook in the 7th inning when many Yankee fans, many people right here on the show, discussed the fact that it felt like a quick hook. All right, so Yankees lost that game. Cole pitched well. As for Flaherty, he went 5 1/3, 2 earns, 5 hits, 6 Ks, did allow a home run. Obviously, neither pitcher figured in the decision. However, when they do get back to the mound, it'll be for an all-important game 5. And you know what? If the Yankees can somehow, however that happens, manage to force a game 6, and at this point, it's all hands on deck. We know that. Good things could happen. Have a good feeling about that. First is game 5, and you have your best pitcher on the mound. This is why he gets $350 million. This is Garrett Cole's signature Yankee moment. Obviously, it's his first World Series in a Yankee uniform. He has a chance now to really, really, really set the Dodgers back. You don't think the Dodgers are thinking about having to go back to L.A. after 2 straight losses? Yeah, sure, they'd love to celebrate in front of the home folks, but the title is the most important thing, and it doesn't matter where you win the title. But you don't think the Dodgers are worried about going back to L.A.? Still up 3-2, but after a back-to-back win situation for the Yankees, I bet you they're thinking about it, and it is a worrisome time. So good on the Yankees for getting back into it. Again, 11-4 the final score. Yanks belted 9 hits. The only 2 starters without hits, Stanton and Rizzo, and they've been pretty good, so no reason to bark at those guys. Glaber hit the 3-run shot. Volpe hit the grand slam. And that was pretty much it. The bullpen took care of the issues as well. Hill, Holmes, Leiter, Weaver, and Meza all combined to allow no runs. All 4 runs for the Dodgers came off of Luis Gil, 2 in the first and 2 in the 5th. So again, 11-4 the final score as the Yankees force a game 5. Thank you for making Locked On Yankees your first listen today. Now go check out the Locked On MLB podcast. Prepare for the Fall Classic with Sully, who has it all covered every single day. You can find the link to Locked On MLB in the description, so you don't need to search. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team, every single day. And, of course, before we leave, we have to mention our partners in crime over at Locked On Yankees, Stacey Goudsoulias and Brian McKeon. They handle all the stuff there. They're the best. Follow, subscribe, and enjoy. As we said, 11-4 the final score. Yanks are very much alive after a beatdown. A grand slam from Anthony Volpe, a roller coaster of a night for him. And then we got a 3-run opposite field shot from Gleyber Torres, the icing on the cake. Soto and Judge and Stanton were quiet, but it didn't matter. Yanks force a game 5. We'll see if they can force a game 6 tomorrow night.